Hi guys, I'm Alex Dotrieve, and today we're going to be talking about the Miami-Ohio State college football playoff game. Guys, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I talk about all things sports here on this channel. I talk about college football, college basketball, college baseball. I talk about NFL, NBA, everything. NHL, I talk about it all here on this channel. This channel is all strictly for sports, guys. I also have a podcast on SC Unfiltered covering college basketball. But let's get into this game. Did anyone expect Miami to win 24-14 against Ohio State? Now, if you talk to Miami fans, they're going to say, yeah, I expected this to be the outcome. We knew Carson Beck. We knew our team was going to be ready to play. Okay, if you're going to talk to Ohio State fans, they are dumbfounded. Okay, they did not see their season ending by Miami. Okay? Then if you talk to Notre Dame fans, they're like, oh, we still deserve to be there. Why is Miami there? Notre Dame should have been there instead of them. Okay, that's how that one looks. As someone that was watching this game from beginning to end, dude, this Miami defense looked fantastic, okay? They looked awesome this entire freaking game. They had Julian Saint's number. They had Ohio State's number, okay? And Carson Beck, dude, him and Fletcher. Fletcher was freaking wheeling and dealing with this game with Carson Beck. Okay, let's look at the numbers really quick. Carson Beck only had 138 passing yards, guys. 19 for 26, one touchdown. Comparison here, Julian Saint had 287 yards. Now it was 22 for 35, one touchdown, two interceptions. Okay? Turnovers, never good. But Fletcher, like I said, man, this guy, you gave him the ball and he went and got you the yards. Carson Beck also, man, he was out there running too. So it was really cool to see both these guys be able to run against a really good defense with Ohio State. Now, guys, remember, Ohio State's defense, all I kept hearing before this game, they're the number one defense in the country, right? Number one defense in the country. Oh, maybe that's just Ohio State fans saying it, but, dude, if that was the case, they should have been able to stop Miami. Look at what happened with Miami against Texas A&M. A&M was able to hold them more than what this happened. 24 points. This is the most any team had scored on Ohio State this entire year. So, like I said, was very surprised by this. First downs, they both had the same amount of first downs. Time of possession, 33 minutes on Miami side, 26 minutes on Ohio State side. Now, look deeper into it here. Let's see. Rushing-wise, we had over 153 yards of rushing from Miami. Okay, 153 from rushing. And then on the passing side, 138. So, man, they did a good job, I think, just having that run game. But I feel like you have to have a mixture of both. Only having one or the other makes it really easy for a defense, you know what I mean? But having a good run game to watch out for and pass game, it was hard for Ohio State. You know what I mean? They're watching out for the run most of the time, not being prepared for Carson Beck to over here to throw it. If you give someone enough time, they're going to be able to throw the ball and look fantastic. Okay, give Carson Beck time, and that man's going to look like the best quarterback out there on the field. And guess what? They gave him time, and he did exactly what you'd think he would do with all that time. Now, Julian Saint, I've been seeing a lot of people talk pretty negatively on him after this game. I feel like, look, you got to give him props. He did what he could this year. Was that his best showing? No. But I feel like when Jeremiah Smith is cooking like how he was this game, you just keep feeding Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith, man, when he got the ball, dude, no one could stop him, okay? He was a force to be reckoned with. So I just didn't understand that part where they stopped kind of giving it to him as much. I don't know. I would be throwing the ball to Jeremiah Smith the entire time. Now, Jeremiah Smith had 7 receptions for 157 yards, okay? So obviously he was the main factor when it comes to receivers in this game, but like I said, you got a thing working. Keep working it. Now, they passed it to Carnell Tate, Brandon Innes, C.J. Donaldson, Will Kaczmarek. So the ball was getting fed to a lot of different people, but like I said, I would have just kept feeding Jeremiah Smith. He's the number one receiver in college football right now. Why not feed that freaking man? Okay? I don't know. Didn't make sense to me. You got to feed him. Okay? And then rushing yards. Bo Jackson here, 11 carries for 55 yards. C.J. Donaldson, 7 carries for 31 yards. Smith 1 for 1. Julian Saint 5 carries, negative 42 yards. So overall, the yardage for the team was 45 rushing yards. That's not good. Okay, that is not good. The rushing in this game on their part was not ideal. Let's see what was Carson Beck's. Carson Beck, look, 7 carries for 23 yards. I'll take it, man. Like, I'll take that. No negative yards there. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see your quarterback with negative yards. You need to be able to make sure that that quarterback is a playmaker when he's able to run. Okay? And that just was not the case. Now, Ohio State guys, in this game, they came back in the second half here, right? Scoring 14 in the second half, 7 in the third quarter, 7 in the fourth quarter. And they started actually defensively being able to stop Miami. Miami scored 3 points in the third quarter and 7 in the fourth quarter. But look, now let's see. The fourth quarter, they scored in 13 minutes, 28 seconds, 17-14. When it was 17-14, if you're Ohio State, you have to do something here. You have to get a lead. And they couldn't do it. They were unable to do so. And then once Miami got that last touchdown there with 55 seconds, it was over. It was game. Okay, there was just no way for Ohio State to come back and win that one. Now, what I don't know from Ohio State fans, what do you do with this loss? Because the amount of money that they spent in the NIL, in the portal, everything this last season was so much money. Okay, them in Texas Tech, man, they spent so much money in the portal, in NIL this year, and they didn't win this football game. So I feel like after that, you kind of have to reevaluate. You got to look at where you're putting your money, because if you're not winning these games against a team like Miami, I'm not saying Miami's not a great team. Look what they just did. They just beat Ohio State, which a lot of people had Ohio State winning the national championship this year. So I think you got to do something change here. You got to make some differences. You got to make some coaching changes as well. I'm not one of those Ryan Day haters. I think Ryan Day is a fantastic coach. Okay, but one thing that was different is this. The man was calling the plays. He hasn't called the plays since, 2023? So it's been a long time since he's had to call the plays. I know a lot of people probably disagree with some of his play calling in this game. But look, the crazy stuff happens, okay? When you got coaches having to go to other teams, it's not going to be like Ole Miss where they were able to keep their coaches even though they are leaving for LSU or other schools. Now, Miami, other side of the world here, Mario Cristobal. Everyone always was saying negative stuff about Mario Cristobal. Like, oh yeah, he can't win the big games. He chokes when it matters most. Well, guess what you can't say anymore? You can't say that Mario Cristobal can't coach a big game. You can't say that he chokes every game, because he just beat Ohio State, guys. They beat Texas A&M. That's a big win, and it was at College Station. It was in A&M, okay? That's where it was. Then they go and beat Ohio State. 2 really massive games, and they won both of them, okay? So you got to that whole Mario Cristobal's not the guy. Probably got to get rid of that one there. Now, they do have a really hard game. They got to go play Ole Miss. So curious now is this. If you're in Miami, what do you do to prepare yourself for Ole Miss? Because we just saw Ole Miss decimate, okay, Georgia. Not decimate. I mean, look, when you're able to beat Georgia, honestly, that's decimation in my opinion. Because if your offense is able to do that against that defense, Georgia has a really good defense, guys. So if you're able to do what Ole Miss did against them, that's craziness. So Miami, I will say this, Miami going up against Ole Miss, their offense I think will do better than they did even against Ohio State, because Ole Miss's defense isn't as good as Ohio State. Okay, Ole Miss just played the best game they have all season. I think Miami's going to score more than 24 points against Ole Miss. Now, on the flip side here, Ole Miss's offense might be the best offense Miami has seen all season. So I do think Ole Miss is going to be able to put a fair amount of points on Miami. It's going to be a really fun game. Really curious to see what happens there. Now, for Miami and Ohio State fans, I want to know what do you guys think of this game? How do you feel after this game? You feeling good or you feeling bad? Okay, I need to know down in the comments down below. And also, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know how you're feeling after this college football playoff game. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Alex signing out.